Hey guys, welcome to Geo Apps Lesson 12.5 on volume. This is the final lesson of 2020. We're going to talk about the volume of three shapes. The first one being a rectangular prism, otherwise known as a box. And when you find volume, you're finding the amount of space inside a three-dimensional shape. So we've got three dimensions we want to label. We've got a length, a width, and a height. And the volume of a rectangular prism is simply length times width times height. You'll be given the three dimensions, you multiply them together, and that's volume. I should also mention that our units would be cubic inches or feet or centimeters, and so on and so forth. So the next one we're going to talk about is a cylinder. A cylinder is like a can. There are two dimensions here. The first one being height, and the other one being radius. Now this volume formula is going to be pi r squared h. And that's how we get our three dimensions, because we square this one. So basically what we're doing is we're taking the area of the circle, that's your pi r squared, and then multiplying it by the height. And the final shape we're going to talk about today is volume of a sphere. And a sphere has one measurement, and that's simply the radius. And this formula is a little bit more challenging. The volume formula for a sphere is 4/3 pi r cubed. All right, so we need to find the radius of that sphere, cube it, multiply it by 4/3 pi. Why don't we summarize those three formulas? You might want to just take a note card or a half sheet of paper and jot these down, and it'll help you with your Delta Math assignment. Our three volume formulas: rectangular prism or a cube. Volume equals length times width times height. Volume of a cylinder is pi r squared h, and volume of a sphere is 4/3 pi r cubed. Let's put those into practice. Example 1, find the volume of a rectangular prism that has a length of 6 inches, a height of 2 inches, and a width of 4 inches. Now, you guys might not choose to draw these out, but you know I'm a visual person, so I kind of like to make a diagram of the shape. Rectangular prism is like a box, and it doesn't really matter where you put these dimensions. The length is 6 inches, height is 2 inches, width is 4 inches. And to find the volume, we're simply going to take length times width times height. So that's going to be 2 times 6 times 4, and that ends up being 48, and we talked about the units, cubic inches. Okay, find the volume of a cube that has an edge of 7 centimeters. So a cube is a rectangular prism whose length, width, and height are all the same. So it's kind of like a die. All right, so if it says edge length of 7, the length is 7, the width is 7, the height is 7. So our volume formula here is simply going to be 7 times 7 times 7. All right, and that is 343. Our units here are centimeters, so that's going to be centimeters cubed, or cubic centimeters. All right, our next example, find the volume of a cylinder to the nearest tenth that has a radius of 5 feet and a height of 12 feet. All right, so cylinder we talked about, it's kind of like a can. Try and draw it as best I can. So the height is 12 feet, and the radius is 5. So it's important that you have the radius, because that's what you use in the volume formula. It's going to be pi r squared h. So it's going to be pi times 5 squared times 12. We're just going to throw that into the calculator. I don't care what 5 squared is. I'm just going to put it on the calculator one shot. And I got 942.477 ... This says to the nearest tenth, so that's going to be 942.5. And since we're talking about feet here, it's going to be cubic feet. All right, so here we've got another cylinder volume example, except here I give you something different. So what we know here is that the diameter is 17. That's going to be important, because I'm not going to use 17 in the volume formula, and the height is 6. So the first thing I need to do is I need to get the radius. The radius is going to be the diameter divided by 2, That's going to give me 8.5. So that's what I'm going to use in my volume formula. The volume of the cylinder, again, is pi r squared h. It's not necessary to write that out every time. I'm just showing you where I'm getting these numbers from. So that's going to be pi times 8.5 squared times the height, which is 6. All right, so if I throw that into the calculator, I get 1,361.880 ... So rounding that to the nearest tenth, I get 1,361.9. We're talking about inches, so that's going to be cubic inches or inches cubed. All right, our last two we're going to have to do with a sphere. A sphere is like a beach ball, basketball. All right, so this one says here it has a radius of 11 centimeters. All right, so the radius is 11, and my formula for volume of a sphere is 4/3 pi r cubed. I do have the radius, so that's going to be 4/3 pi times 11 cubed. Again, we're going to throw that right into the calculator. I got 5,575.279 ... So to the nearest tenth, that's going to be 5,575.3. And we're talking centimeters, so that's going to be cubic centimeters. And our last example, it's going to be another sphere, except this time I give you a diameter. So I'm going to make a sketch here. Here's my sphere, but I'm given the diameter is 42.4. So again, the diameter is not part of the volume formula, so what I'm going to do is find the radius by taking 42.4, dividing it by 2. I believe that's 21.2. Now I can use my volume formula, which is 4/3 pi r cubed, and we're going to put in that 21.2 for the radius. So 4/3 pi times 21.2 cubed. Throw that into the calculator, and it's a big number. I got 39,911.329 ... Rounding that to the nearest tenth is going to be 39,911.3, and we're talking feet, so it's going to be cubic feet. Okay, so there you have it, guys, the last lesson of 2020. Please rewatch this video and practice these examples. We have one Delta math assignment left. Again, I just want to take time to thank you all for hanging in there and doing the hard work. And I know this wasn't ideal, but we got through it. Thanks, guys.